It's a question of burnout. If you feel yourself burning out, there's various things you have to do. You should get together with other entertainers and talk about it. You should take a break. You should read a book. You should learn a new routine. There's many things you can do, but if you're getting to burnout stage, it's really important to do something about it.
I've done a party before where a child stood right 2 foot away and called me Mr. Poohead for 40 minutes. Loud. Didn't stop. Mr. Poohead, Mr. Poohead, Mr. Poohead, Mr. Poohead. The rest of the kids didn't care. And it's very tempting that you could lose it. But you can't. You can't lose it. But I'm not saying that everybody's lost their temper, but unfortunately with this job, if you lose your temper, it's high profile.
You'd be surprised at people that don't ask whether you're police vetted. It does, I've probably been asked 3 times in 5 years.
I think it can happen to pretty much anybody.
I did hear of one incident.
I imagine that he just snapped, that he was pushed a little bit too far, he'd had a bad week, I really don't know.
The Great Velcro. I obviously read about him in the papers. My father-in-law pointed him out to me in the Evening Argus. And then I think he made the Mail or whatever it is as well.
Yeah? Hello?
Hello.
What a surprise.
Great Velcro.
Not anymore. I've lost that name.
Have you?
It had to go.
Is it okay if I come?
Yes, madame. Well, this is my front room, which is also known as the tip and also known as a magic room.
How many rabbits have you had?
Since about 78, 4. Let me think. Rosita, Georgina, Albert and Millie. I work with a rabbit when I know it's suitable to work with a rabbit. The climate as such has changed. People are not always so sympathetic to a magician, and with a rabbit anymore, it's got certain connotations. But so I probably am one of the last generation of magicians that will use rabbits. Feather dusters, they are my magic flowers. I came out of the Navy, left school at 15. What could I do? Bit of juggling, bit of chat.
Yeah, I sometimes think that I'm not suitable for this line of work because I've got a terrible temper. I've got a raging temper.
And even if you did lose it, you might sort of think, oh God, But at the end of the day, you've got to remember you're an entertainer. You're there to make everybody happy.
There are laws, there are public laws, and there's your own law of what you think's right and what you think's wrong, and they don't always tie up together, do they?
Anything physically abusive or mentally abusive to the children is obviously not acceptable.
Go back home and, or go up on the downs and scream away,
The deification of kids has happened in the last sort of 40, 50 years. I don't think the Greeks or the Romans had any sort of thing about kids. They'd crucify them, little sods,
Deep down, I punish my kids. But do some kids deserve it? Are they a pain in the backside?
I did a show in a park and this kid started behaving really badly. He didn't relate to me at all. He just started throwing my stuff away. And then he started being weird. And then he started looking at my balls going... And I thought, this kid's taking me for a big ride here. I thought, sod it, I'm not having this. I thought, Lynn, you've done it now. I thought, you have done it. I thought, God, Lynn. 30 years up the creek.
I mean, how many parties he's done? He's done thousands of parties. Everybody's allowed to make one mistake.
It only takes one time, just one slip, and it could theoretically ruin your career.
Big disaster, really, because they called the police, and I got a caution. The kids were shouting, are you going to get arrested? Are you going to prison?
But I think that he just was pretty tired, and he just made the mistake of picking the wrong person.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We've been able to get hold of an excellent magician. Now, I love magicians, and I hope you do too.
Abracadabra, simsalabim, hocus pocus. Fishbones choke us. Hat back on the head, abracadabra. Ta-da! Make that. The police officer said, we're going to caution you, you can't hit a child. It's not called clipping round the ear anymore. When I was in the car, I felt quite emotional and upset. And the policewoman, obviously the sensitive one, you know, touchy-feely, said, because I was a bit, oh God, she said, how do you feel about it? I said, oh, well, I feel sorry. I said, I feel sorry for myself, actually. What's inside, Colin?
An Easter egg.
Take it out. Chocolate egg for you! God, I mean, I shouldn't have done it, you know, but I did.
Lynn's old school. You have to be really on the ball nowadays just to keep ahead.
This kid had just pushed the boundary of a 63-year-old man who's lived a bit, lived through Thatcher and Tony Blair. I'm not a bad person. I may have been a bad person on that day. That's one day in 63 years. Well, I'm not dancing around a handbag singing I Will Survive. I just had to get on and do it, you know.
Do you think you'll never do the kids' party again?
Oh, I will do them on special request. If they want a particularly violent magician, I'll be there.
This is a little bit sad. Put your hands up, everybody. Say, how sad? It's a little bit sad, because this is a story about a man called Mr. Pumpkin. Who's Mr. Pumpkin? And do you know what? I'm afraid Mr. Pumpkin's getting a little bit old. You know, everybody go, ah.
That's lovely, thanks.
Have you been a bit low then?
Obviously, when I go and visit my mum, she's not well at the moment, she's very poorly, and so to see somebody deteriorate in such a quick time, although she's still alive, you're grieving now. It's a form of grief, because she's not that person. She's there, but she's not the mum that I used to know, who was a very happy, lively mum and full of life, and she's just that shell now. There's no answer for it. You know, there's no way. You know, she's not going to get better. She's just sort of going to be on the decline. And then I'm going from that to a party where everybody's happy and they expect you to suddenly put on this lovely mask, that Mr. Pumpkin mask, that lovely face everybody loves and they're very happy. So you have to change. So you have to go into like auto drive and turn into Mr. Pumpkin. When that door opens, bang, you're Mr. Pumpkin, and you have to perform.
Right, George, what we're going to say to Mr. Pumpkin? Bye.
You're very welcome. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. I don't normally eat this, to be honest.
Do you guys have really healthy food?
Yeah, muesli, the grapefruit, not a whole one, half a grapefruit, sparkling water, no coffee, no tea. Yeah. Don't drink any alcohol whatsoever. Mr. Pumpkin's body is a temple, as they say.
Quite, it's a good coffee.
How does a pirate retire?
Well, you never quite can get away from being a pirate, you know. I mean, basically, once a pirate, always a pirate, yeah. So I'll keep doing stuff till the day I drop. What I don't do enough of is go out to meet people, you know. That's my problem. Also, at my age, I kind of think, well, I don't really want to be going out too much. I'd far rather have a family at home, really, and spend time with them. So the problem is, where do you meet people in a country like England, where it's freezing cold most of the time? See, my choice would be on the beach.
Why are people scared of clowns?
Why are people scared of the Russians? Why are people scared of chavs? You know, it's the Daily Mail again.
When you walk into a show, they don't know you, do they? No, you could be anybody, couldn't you, really, you know? And I normally say to them, well, look, you know, I've got 3 boys, and that immediately puts them at ease. If they know you've got children, it just, you know, it makes them feel a bit more at ease with you.
I've had people at parties, you know, I've come out of a party and, you know, you're just getting changed and they're just saying, you dirty old clown pedo, you know, had a good time feeling the kids. And I mean, to be quite frank, if I wasn't a clown, it's probably the kind of thing I'd say. But, you know, it's it's what people say, really. You know, I just feel as if I want to kick the fucking teeth in. You know, I'd love to kick the fucking teeth in. You know, I march in, I get myself sorted out. There is no chance. There's not even the merest hint of getting a child on their own. It's not as if you're going to get a child up on stage and say, I'm going to pull this cover over them and I'm going to make things disappear for 15 minutes. it just wouldn't happen.
If you're going shopping with, you know, go with Fiona, you can see the children and you're looking at them and then you're giving them a smile. Now, parents can take that. If they don't know you, they're going to think, what's he looking at my child for? Why is he smiling at the child? And then they're going to, you know, some people would take that the wrong way, wouldn't they?
So you really haven't been in here before?
No, never.
Not even in the old days?
No. But the great news is I've got my new routine going at last. Well, it's not new, it's 2 years old now. I've been working on it for 2 years. Well, I suppose it's because I take what I do quite seriously. It's any kind of artistic thing, you've got to focus a bit, and the trouble is they just end up with tunnel vision, and that's all you do. The onslaught starts tomorrow, so I don't want to stay out too late either, really. Can't do a kids' party with a hangover, and the kids will know there's something wrong, and they'll sense it, and they'll pick up on it, and they'll get at every little nick in your armour, every chink in your armour, and they'll get you, and they'll pull you down, and it'll be awful.
What do you think of Doug's job then, Erica?
Well, I think it's very funny and in a sort of a quite heartwarming way. You know, he's a very warm person, so it's good. But I just sometimes feel that he can't really divorce himself from the role, you know? And he comes up with sort of making pirate noises in sometimes very inappropriate places.
What noises?
Those sort of quite rooty noises.
Ah, well, that'd be because I'm a pirate, you see. She doesn't understand. Potty the Pirate is really a distillation of various parts of my own character. So really, Potty the Pirate is already me. So I'm never going to be any different to Potty the Pirate. It's just that there's possibly a little bit more to discover in the real person.
Either have to accept him as he is. Yeah, just go with it, I think.
This one is of me, my mum, my dad and Fiona on our wedding day. See if I've got any more here. Oh, this is a good one. You like this one? That's me dressed as Judy and Clary when I was in my band.
Wow.
Yeah, very camp. Show collar with that extra gay look. And the cycling pants, look.
Did men come on to you?
Pardon?
Did men come on to you when you were dressed like that?
Might have done. When I was in the band, Mum used to come and watch me and she'd put all my makeup on for me. If it wasn't put on properly, she'd tell me. Or that wasn't such a good gig, or this was a good gig. Or your choke collar's not on properly, Nick. I used to do a bit of Elton John, a bit of Phil Collins, a bit of Queen. So... And she liked to sing as well. She'd whistle. Mum liked Nat King Cole. There we are. It's not a brilliant video, but it's memories, isn't it? It's if I can keep... I want to sort of keep it. So.
Unforgettable. That's what you are.
It's a lovely picture, Mum, isn't it?
Though near or far, like a song of love that clings to me, how the thought of you does things to me. Never before has someone been more
with Alzheimer's,